integrating knowledge, love, and sacrifice, the techniques of indifference, of light, and of presence. We endeavor to contact the vibratory resonance of the angel of the presence and bring this into and through the group field of endeavor. We blend the light of the personal self, focused in the mind, the light of the soul, focused in the angel, and the universal light which the presence emits from the triangle of soul qualities which we anchor and affirm in our daily service and meditation. We rise on this beam to draw into our vessels the radiant, directed, and focused light, guiding us into the presence and identification as being. The light that shines on earth across the sea. This is the light which ever shines within the dark, and cleansing with its healing rays that which must be purified until the dark has gone. Let us gather our forces, and on the wings of the angel of the presence and this great vibrating light of the presence, sounding 12 notes in the annual cycle of the 12 vortices of the heart, soul qualities expressed as virtues. We stand together, having dared to unite with the one saving force and the one world-serving group in service, now entering into the light of Pisces. Together we sound, into the light we move, beckoned thereto by thee. Out of the dark we come, driven thereto by the soul of all. Up from the earth we spring, and into the ocean of light we plunge. Together we come, together we move, guided and led by the soul we serve, and by thee, the Master we know. The Master within and the Master without are one. That one are we. The one is all. My soul, thy soul, the Master, and the soul of all. Triangles of the saving force. We see the image of the will of God, the intelligence of God, the love of God, surrounding the triangles of the Manu, the Master Moria, and the triangle of the Mahakohan, the Master Kutumi. The active aid of all who know the truth is here. The love to carry forth the work is widely spread abroad. holding the consciousness in the head and seeing our group together as one. Visualize a sphere of deep electric blue, vivid and living. And together we say the following words, endeavoring to realize their significance as we say, we stand in spiritual being within the one, and as the soul, we serve. We stand within the light, and as the light shines throughout our form, we radiate that light. We stand within the love of God, and as that love streams through and from the heart, we magnetize the ones we seek to aid. With purity of motive, inspired by a loving heart, we offer ourselves. We sacrifice in service to the soul of humanity. Ellen.
On the side of soul expression, which is governed by detachment, the following phrases and sentences will give an idea of the progress and intent. 1. The stage of spiritualization and of dematerialization. The soul functions with the purpose of liberation before it, and not of further physical plane experience. 2. The relinquishment of form life. 3. The period where satiety is experienced. The desires have been so dominant and so often satisfied that they no longer attract. 4. The process in detail of liberation from bodies and forms. A body or bodies. B, a sheath or sheaths. C, a vehicle or vehicles. And D, a form or forms. 5. Emergence into light. A symbolic way of expressing the reverse of immersion in darkness. 6. The path of return. Motivated by the wish to appropriate nothing for the separate self. The beginning of group consciousness and of group work. 7. Selflessness, the major characteristic of the soul or self. 8. Freedom from the desire to possess. Freedom from acquisitiveness, and therefore the state of desirelessness. The establishing of a sense of reality as the ruling principle of the life. 9. The return of the prodigal son to the father's home. In Pisces, we will endeavor to understand and embody the soul quality of humanity. In Pisces, we will endeavor to understand and embody the soul quality of humility. Sacrifice as the joy of the soul expressing Buddhic awareness and embodying indifference, and to achieve goal fitness as we move from year of convocation to actuating the radiance of soul consciousness into the minds of all. Gathering our forces and on the wings of the angel of the presence and this great vibrating light of the presence, we become an intense, focused point of tension, focused, immovable will to good. Circling the globe as one within the great network of expanding light, we identify those areas needing the soul qualities of wisdom, which is the fruit of love and indicates the awakening of the love petals of the Egoic Lotus. Life as the expressed activity, which is the manifestation of love, because it is essential dualism. Tolerance, which is the first expression of Buddhic understanding. To activate the energies of light, love, and power as goodwill in action. We bring the triangle of these soul qualities of active intelligence, right relationship, into the points of world crisis requiring the light of the presence to blot out the dweller. The light grows, expands, and with increasing brilliance, strength, and purpose, visualize the blotting out of the dweller's hold on humanity. Let us pause in silence. Again, gathering our forces on the wings of the angel of the presence and this great vibrating light of the presence, holding our intense, focused point of tension and greater soul fusion, circling the globe as one within the great network of expanding light. We identify those areas needing the soul qualities of sympathy, which is the consequence of knowledge and of the unfoldment of the knowledge petals. Such energy, then, is in touch with the heart center, sympathy. Compassion, which is essentially the right use of the pairs of opposites. Compassion. Patience, signifying the embryonic immortality and persistence, which is a soul characteristic. Patience. To activate the energies of light, love, and power as goodwill in action, we bring the triangle of these soul qualities of loving understanding, sympathy, compassion, and patience into the points of world crisis, requiring the light of the presence to blot out the dweller. The light grows, expands, and with increasing brilliance, strength, and purpose. Visualize the blotting out of the dweller's hold on humanity. Let us hold silence for a moment. Aspirants would do well to avoid any concentration at all upon the physical body and learn gradually to shift their focus of attention into the etheric body. Necessarily, the physical body is active and potent, but increasingly it should be regarded as an automaton, influenced and directed by inspiration emanating from points of spiritual tension, by sentient, conscious love emanating from the soul, by illumination coming from higher sources than the life in the three worlds. The soul as the vehicle of monadic impression until such time as the antakarana is built. That bridge in mental matter, which will eventually link the monad and the spirit personality. Gathering our forces on the wings of the angel of the presence. And this great vibrating light of the presence, we become an intense, focused point of tension, holding the mind steady in the light, circling the globe as one within the great network of expanding light. We identify that which is seeking to embody the high purpose at this point in the evolutionary process, and imbue those areas most in need of the soul qualities of identification with others, which is embryonic fusion, carried eventually to synthesize when the head center is developed. Sacrifice, which is giving of the heart's blood or life for others. Synthesis, to activate the energies of light, love, and power as goodwill in action. We bring the triangle of these soul qualities of right relationship into the points of world crisis, requiring the light of the presence to blot out the dweller. The light grows, expands, and with increasing brilliance, strength, and purpose. Visualize the blotting out of the dweller's hold on humanity. Let us hold silence. Catherine can read next.
By means of the technique of indifference, Maya is ended. For the control of the purified astral vehicle is consciously and technically brought into activity, producing the freeing of the energies of the etheric body from the control of matter or force substance, and bringing men in large numbers onto the probationary path. Where there is divine indifference to the call or pull of matter, then inspiration becomes possible to use matter with complete impersonality, enabling one to live a life inspired by God. Inspiration is the applied power of transmission. By means of the technique of light, the illumined mind assumes control over the astral or emotional body and dissipates glamour. When light pours in, glamour fades out. Illumination dominates and the vision of reality can be seen. Illumination is the applied power of transformation. By means of the technique of the presence, the soul assumes control of the integrated personality and of its relations, horizontal and vertical. This technique involves the unfolding of the flower of the intuition, dispelling illusion, revealing the angel, indicating the presence, and opening up to the disciple the world of ideas and the door of the higher initiations. Through the disciple's grasp and application of these divine ideas or seed thoughts, the disciple becomes an initiate, and the third initiation becomes possible as an immediate goal. The intuition is the applied power of transfiguration. This technique is related to the little-known yoga called Agni Yoga, or the yoga of fire. Let us remember Master DK's teachings anent the presence. Stage by stage, each person progresses from one state of illusion or glamour to another, from one point of discriminative opportunity to another, until they have developed three major capacities. One, the capacity to handle force, devitalizing Maya. Two, the capacity to tread the middle way between the pairs of opposites, dissipating glamour. And three, the capacity to use the intuition, dispelling illusion. You must bear in mind that none of these three stages are, in reality, divided off from each other by clear lines of demarcation, nor do they follow each other in a clear sequence. They proceed with much overlapping and often with a partial simultaneity. It is only when the disciple faces certain initiations that they awaken to the fact of these distinctions. May the Holy Ones, whose disciple I am, show me the light I seek. Give me the strong aid of their compassion and their wisdom. There is a peace which passeth understanding. It abides in the hearts of those who live in the eternal. There is a power which maketh all things new. It lives and moves in those who know the self as one. May that peace brood over us, that power uplift us, till we stand where the one initiator is invoked, till we see his star shine forth.
Let us enter into an even deeper alignment with the soul of our group and see our group approaching Master DK's study. To develop our group focus in dissipating glamour, we use the creative imagination, controlled by the mind transmitting an image from the abstract mind onto the astral field, facing the group members as if eye to eye and establishing a soul-to-soul connection. In silence, we withdraw from personal and world affairs and center on the work to be done, setting up a magnetic field of positive, receptive activity. Silence. Assume the attitude of the observer. Envisage your etheric body, your aura, which includes your health aura. Envision your astral emotional aura. And finally, your mental aura, encapsulating your expressed etheric radiance and your place upon the path of evolution, your personality instrument. See the outlines of these spheres, these auras, in a unity. Now imagine the interconnections, the elemental and Davic streams flowing, relating, connecting these auras as a single unified field, and sound the words of Roberto Assaglioli. I have a body. I am not my body. I have emotions. I am not my emotions. I have a mind. I am not my mind. Now lift the attention within these united spheres to the highest point, the deepest point of life within your being, the soul, and say, I am the soul. I am light divine. I am love. I am will. I am fixed design. Our aim is to embody spiritual discernment, practice positive harmlessness, and eventually achieve a state of divine indifference as we dispel illusion, dissipate glamours, devitalize Maya in all our relationships. more radiant than the sun, purer than the snow, subtler than the ether, is the self, the spirit within my heart. I am that self am I. I am one with my group brothers and sisters, and all that I have is theirs. May the love of the one soul pour forth to all. May the energy of the one soul lift and aid us all. May the thoughts which the soul creates reach and encourage all. May the energy of the divine self be spread abroad in our hearts, through our groups, and throughout the world. Linking your heart, head, and ajna center, find the spark of monadic life hidden within the center of your being. Allow this point, that which you perceive as the presence, to permeate your entire being. Aligned with the soul of all, draw down soul radiance into the Egoic Lotus, the soul vehicle, the vehicle of the soul in incarnation. Silence. Receive from the ashram as we invoke the technique of light.
As the greater group that has formed and is forming, becoming the channel for the dissipation of glamour and dispelling of illusion, using the sign of the cross of divinity, let us sound the protective formula. As the soul we work in light, touch the forehead. And darkness cannot touch us, the center of the chest. We take our stand within the light, the left eye. We work, and from that point, we never move, the right eye. Maintaining a focused, immovable will as the point of tension, the identification of the brain, mind, and and soul with the will aspect and the preservation of that identification, unchanged and immovable in all circumstances and difficulties. Remembering that the will aspect is contacted only from the mental plane, and only those, therefore, who are working with and through the mind can begin to appropriate this energy. Project lines of lighted energy across the channel of light that bridges the gap through the one world serving group and links the souls of all with the hierarchy. In unity with the Christ consciousness, the will to love, and the enlightened wisdom of the Buddha, we sound. In the center of the will of God, we stand. Naught shall deflect our will from God's will. We implement that will by love. We turn towards the field of service as the triangle divine. We work out that will within the square and serve humanity. Using the powers of transmission, illumination, and the sparks of intuitive force streaming from the planetary lives, which are aligned with those energies streaming into the triangle of the saving force. To the Christ as the centralizing power of the saving force, synthesizing the power of the will to save, the will to love of the hierarchy, with the Buddha, the Lord of Light, and the will to good. We align with that great identity, a living unity, which we call the presence. We absorb the lighted lines of divine ideals into the mind of the world serving group as divine ideas, issuing forth from the raincloud of knowable things to be distributed into the abstract mind as spiritual discernment in the soul vessels, the Egoic Lotus, the highest heart in each of us. we enter into a beam of directed, focused light, revealing a greater light and illumining the way to the center of the light. Directing our way. Now, merging into the group presence with those joining subjectively and via our matrices of enlightened service activities. Our current service groups and triangles of light in the heart, mind, heart in the head, we sound the mantra of light. Radiance we are, and power. We stand forever with our hands stretched out, linking the heavens and the earth. The inner world of meaning, the subtle world of glamour. We reach into the light and bring it down to meet the need. We reach into the silent place and bring from thence the gift of understanding. Thus, with the light, we work and turn the darkness into day. Then we say in unison, the light is one, and in that light shall we see light. This is the light that turns the darkness into day. Sounding the Om as the group soul on its own plane, sounded forth by the group soul, the realized unity of the souls of all the group members. Sounding the Om as the soul on the mental plane. Sounding the Om as the soul on the astral plane, the soul ready to function as light bearer and distributor of light upon the astral plane. We pause for a few minutes as we attempt to throw behind the searchlight that we have created together in consciousness our united, directed, and dynamic will or intent along the projected beam of light. The destructive quality of the spiritual will, destructive to all that hinders the manifestation of divinity, devitalizing Maya, dissipating glamour, and dispelling illusion. We have attained a united point of tension. We have dedicated the individual and the group will to the will of God. This act of will, carried on by each member of the group, silently, with a deep realization that all of us are thus accepted, and that it is the group will, which is being silently focused. And we say together, with power upon its beam, the light is focused on the goal. Using the creative imagination, hold a vision of your being, inspired as the transmitting agent of the soul. The groups with which you are working and affiliated as transmitting the radiance of the soul. The nations transformed as cooperative entities, as agents of the plan for humanity. The world evolving in alignment with the plan as the hierarchy is externalized. Each of us in our own way, in a period of focused silence, visualize with the spiritual eye of the soul, the Maya devitalized on the physical etheric plane, and humanity acting with divine indifference as goodwill permeates the planetary etheric physical plane. Silence. using the creative imagination, hold a vision of your being illumined, transformed, the groups in which you are working and affiliated, transformed, the nations, transformed, the world, transformed, each of us in our own way, in a period of focused silence and vision, the clearing of the fogs of glamour, with the focused light of the brain and mind of the one world serving group, merged with the soul light, dissipating the glamours that are limiting clear vision, causing confusion, and hindering the plan for humanity. Silence.
Let us withdraw the light from the astral plane to the mental plane and affirm the dissipation of glamour that we have achieved, knowing that this will take all of our energies in the future to hold this vision for humanity of the dissipation of glamour, limiting humanity at this time. And as we withdraw to the mental plane, we reconsider and align the mind with the soul and the angel of the presence. And using the creative imagination, we hold a vision of touching the Buddhic plane. And with the triangle of the mind, soul, and the angel of the presence, invoking the sparks of intuition from the Buddhic plane to be received by the groups with which you are working and affiliated, and those translated into the activities aligned with the presence that will inspire the nations to fulfill the plan and transform the world, prepared for the externalization of the hierarchy and the reappearance of the Christ in the coming age as that unfolds. We open to receive. We pledge to become the open channel. We pledge to establish through each of us individuals in the soul vessel into the group Egoic Lotus and on to the Egoic Lotus of the new group, the One World Serving Group, to continuously move the energies on that highest level to activate these sparks of intuition as we pledge ourselves to the path of love. Each of us in our own way, in a period of focused silence, imagine a potent directed light, a vision of the energy of the presence, dispelling all illusions that hinder the work of the One World Serving Group in assisting and aiding humanity in this work of translation of the higher Buddhic energies into and through the new group, and activating thought forms of solution. We silently connect into the great web of light, illuminating the jewel in the lotus, the central vessel, the spark of the presence in the crown of the group, sounding Om Mani Padme Om. With increasing indifference as servers, we move gradually to the point of identification with the soul of all, eventually achieving divine indifference, for it is this divine indifference which is responsible for the fact that in attempting to describe pure being or God, and in the effort to arrive at some understanding of the nature of divinity, the formula of negation has been evolved. And in working with the three techniques, we acknowledge that God is not form or substance. God simply is. God is the one who can withdraw and in withdrawing dispel, dissipate, and devitalize all that has been created, using those words in their fullest significance. We strive for this indifference as it leads to right illumination, which is another name or aspect of right direction, which will take the place of glamour and the objective, personally considered, of the group of disciples utilizing this technique of the trained observers, as it will bring light into dark places, that is, the light of Pisces, and illumination into our lives. So we move forward into Pisces. We stand in unison, serving under the law of abstraction, and we blend the lights of matter and of mind to fuse and blend with the soul light. For this act of abstraction produces the dispelling of the illusory world of thought, withdrawal of the divine attention dissipates the sentient universe and brings glamour to an end. All these activities are instances of the will, or the first aspect, the will to good, which can and will function in perfection only when goodwill is finally and fully developed on earth through the agency of humanity. DK reminds us the will and the breath are occult synonymous terms, and in this statement we have the clue to the ending of Maya. And reminded, it must never be forgotten that all souls work in group formation. All souls work under the direct control of those thinkers who embody the divine logoic thought. The work of each of us, therefore, seeks to bring the brain consciousness in line with that thought which reaches us via our own soul consciousness, so that each of us, as sons of God and sons of the One, as souls, brings the active mind stuff for which we each are responsible into a condition that becomes responsive to divine thought. And then, through the plan of the ages, it can be carried to a conclusion. So let us swing and unify the mind stuff gradually and increasingly under the higher impulse and away from the lower vibration, until the responsiveness to the higher becomes a stable condition and the vibratory activity of the lower person fades and dies out. We close with a mantra, the new group of world servers. May the power of the one life pour through the group of all true servers, activating that triangle of the saving force of the Manu, the Christ, and the Master Moria. May the love of the one soul characterize the lives of all who seek to aid the great the triangle of the saving force, the Christ, Master Kuthumi, and the ashrams working in a synthesis to activate the love of the one soul. May we fulfill our part in the one work through self-forgetfulness, harmlessness, and right speech as we activate the third triangle, the third ray, through the light of the Buddha, the Mahachohan, the Christ, and the Masters of the rays of attribute, as the active aid of all who know the truth becomes present in the lives of humanity, in all our serving groups. Let us become one, unified with the great triangle of the saving force, centralized in the energy of the Christ. We'll meet again in March at the same time on Saturday the 14th in Pisces, and our themes will be again radiant light in the light of Pisces that reveals the darkness and brings light. The sacrifice as silent watchers, goal, fitness, and discipline in Pisces, this final cycle of the year of the convocation, humility and recognition of illusion, death as the power of repulsion, revealing the will to good. DK tells us, keep silence and the light will enter in.